Big dog.
What up, everybody? Welcome to Coffee Hour. My name is Paul Abernathy, your host, as always, here for Coffee Hour. Thanks for taking the time out of your day, your busy morning, wherever you're at. And I know some of you are out there on the West Coast. I'm talking 5 a.m., something like that. That's incredible that you get up and you join us. Although you're probably getting your day started anyway, because you've heard the old saying, if you're not up with the East Coast, then you're already behind, right? Because that's where the stock market is. That's where business world happens. And again, you kind of get the tail ends out there in California and out on the West Coast. So again, I understand you're getting up early so you can be competitive in your day. Getting your day planned, getting ready to maybe price some projects, go out to the job site, do something. We just like to be here to be your little morning coffee so that you can get your day started. Ask questions, join in, let us know who you are, where you're from. All that good stuff can be done in the comments, no matter what platform you're on, except for TikTok. TikTok is behind the scenes, doesn't interact with the live stream. But if you want to check it out, we're Master the NEC over on TikTok. You're more than happy to subscribe and watch us behind the scenes. You never know what I will post on TikTok. And you also never know whether I'm going to get banned or not on TikTok, because it seems like I get banned every other week for something I say. That would be the norm for me. So, and it's all good. That's all good. Now, we also do stream over on Fast Track's Tube, which is right there. That is the fastest growing as far as our platform of all the sites that we've created through the years. Fast Track's Tube is growing so fast. People are joining to get the videos and things like that. So, and of course, if you're in our Fast Tracks programs over at fasttracksystem.com, you get the enhanced programs. You automatically get 12 months here as well. You just have to follow the process to get registered. But once you do, our hope is that you will come back and join us after 12 months, that you'll continue to subscribe and be a part of the family over there at Fast Tracks Tube. Also, if you've not checked out the third installment of Buzz Watts Adventures, go check it out. It's on our blog over on this page here at fasttracksystem.com. Go check it out. It is, I think in this episode, I can't remember, I think Ampy gets kidnapped by Arc Flash in this episode. So we gotta wait and see what happens to Ampy. If Arc Flash is gonna do any harm to Ampy, you know what? And again, of course, Buzz will always save the day. So anyway, if you're interested in that type of thing, check it out. It's over on our blog. Okay. All right. So I will say howdy to everybody. But first, let me kind of tell you what we're going to be talking about today. So about 12 months ago, it's closing in on 12 months. Anyway, you heard about me launching something, our company launching something called CEEA, CEEA. And we put it out there as a soft launch because we knew it wasn't fully ready yet. The backbone, the selling material, the marketing, training, everything wasn't done yet, and it's still being worked on as we speak, but I did get the okay. There's a gentleman named Justin Lightly that works with me. He's a consultant. He helps us, and Justin has ready. It says it's okay to roll and kind of just talk about it a little bit. Of course, there's other elements to it that we'll be adding to it. And it is very much a service-oriented add-on to electrical contracting businesses. It is not something that you're going to be jumping into as a standalone. And I mean, I guess you could, but it is really going to be geared towards being an add-on service for electrical contractors to help increase their ability to make money. And one of the goals with it is to teach people the right way to sell add-ons, additions to an installation, normal, you're doing electrical system, things like that. So I'll discuss it. If it's not for you, then I thank you for coming. You can always go click away, because if you're here just for electrical code today, probably not going to be your show. And I fully understand that. And I don't really care whether somebody likes it or doesn't. You know how I am. I'm just real. Okay. All right. This is not a supplemental show to your Fast Tracks program. This is just me talking to you every morning on Coffee Hour and staying connected with you. Sometimes we talk about the latest news. Sometimes we talk about what's going on in the industry, whether or not what's the future of the industry. We talk about all different types of things on this show. It is what it is. All right. So with that said, we'll talk about CEEA a little bit today, but I do want to go on and give a shout out to all those that take the time to join us every day. We appreciate you. So let's see here. Paul, thank you for joining, my friend. Glad to have you here. Seattle, skididdly doo. Glad to have you here, my friend. Welcome. David, CMECP is in the house. Down in Big Southwest dog. Florida, I believe. That's where you're at. I always also have Jason, also CMECP in Big the house. Dog. I need a sound on the soundboard just for the CMECPs. That type of thing. Let's see here. Chris, welcome. Glad to have you here. All is well with me, my friend. I cannot complain. We have so much stuff going on. Trying to get ready also to go to NECA. I don't know if you all are aware of that. Next month, there's NECA in Chicago. I'm going to be there. If you're in the area, stop by and say, hey, I'm at the Prismium Uncool Wire booth. So come by and say howdy. Hopefully you'll stop by and say what's up. Peter, good morning. Glad to have you here. Peter, your knife is in the mail, just so you know. Let's see here. Good morning. Got the hashtag wins going on out here. Appreciate it. Adrian, welcome. Glad to have you here. Adam, glad to have you here, my friend. I am fine. I am doing great. Was a little under the weather last night for some reason. I'm sure it's diabetes related. But the good news is I am back on all my meds and my diabetes. My projected A1C should be around 6.9. Now, I'll tell you right now, if you're a diabetic out there, and this is not a commercial, okay? I'm just saying one of the biggest challenges for a diabetic is the fact that I'm a junkie. I love cakes and I love the sweets. It was really hard for me to find companies that offer products that I can eat that are sweet, but did not raise my blood sugar. Now, people say, well, it's got preservatives. And I don't really care. Right now, I'm on a mission where I have to get my blood sugar down. And I found this company that makes this called Legendary. I don't know, it's Legendary, whatever. They make these little donut things that taste just like donuts, more like a cake donut. I have found a better way to get my coffee where I can still have it as my baby coffee with a little light. But I have really worked hard to find products like Hero Bread. And I know there's other breads out there, and Hero Bread's expensive, but their bagels are just amazing. And it does not spike my blood sugar. And I track this stuff because y'all know I got this continuous glucose thing. It's a struggle. And so I have basically got it down now to I know what I can eat and it still fills me. So, and I'm constantly searching for new products. So now that I found, I used to go to the grocery store and say, how come nobody in here makes sugar-free stuff or stuff that's good for you that are good for diabetics? That should be a market. And I realized that those big box stores, the Walmarts, the Food Lions, they're not going to give shelf space for those type of products because those type of products aren't made in mass production. They're made in batches that, and it's actually amazing to realize that the cost to put this other stuff in there and not just use sugar, right? So again, they're pricey, right? But at the end of the day, if you're a diabetic and you have that sweet tooth and you want it, dude, you got to do what you got to do. So, and I'm a baller, so let's go. I'll pay the extra money. I don't care. What's up, John? Good morning. Glad to have you here, my friend. Pedro's in the house. Welcome, Pedro. Glad to have you here watching over on the YouTube channel. What do we got here? Michael, good morning. Glad to have you here also, Sunshine. Welcome. Glad to have you to the show. Los Three, your guide, or Guido, whatever the name is. Good morning to you too. Welcome. Cray Cray is in the house. What's up, Cray Cray? Glad to have you here, representing up in Nashville, I'm sure. Jonathan's in here somewhere, also representing. What's up, Justin? Welcome, watching over on the tube. Hopefully the tube is going okay. We haven't lost it yet. Santana. Also, I have to remind people that in October, towards the end of October, end of October, right before Halloween. We're going to have Vince Delacroce in the house. He's going to be here live. So he's going to be over at the Pod Circle, and we'll be interacting and looking at some stuff. So and have him on Coffee Hour, and it'd be awesome. Can't wait to have Vince here in the studio. That'd be awesome. And it's a treat for you too, because Vince literally goes all over the country. I mean, he does what I used to do back when I worked with NEMA, but he does it at the 15th degree, right? I mean, those NEMA reps, when I was a NEMA rep representing NEMA, which is, for those that don't know, it's the National Electrical Manufacturers Association. When I was their Southern representative, I represented 11 to 12 states. So I constantly was on the move. Vince goes everywhere, every state, constantly, and loves it. And I don't know how the hell he does that, but he loves it. And but so he'll be in the studio, so that'll be exciting. But again, our NEMA reps do the exact same thing. We have 4 NEMA reps around the country that rep the manufacturers. And then we say rep, that's another misconception. NEMA reps are not sales extensions for the manufacturers. Okay. They're technical experts, and they go around the country and they answer questions not only on manufactured products, but also the National Electrical Code, right? So a NEMA rep is a great resource. Not because I was one, I can tell you without a doubt, if you have questions on something in your area, go to your NEMA rep. Go to the website, go to NEMA.org, go there and find out who your rep is. Email the reps. They are more than happy to answer questions for you. That's what they do. That's their job. And if you have a technical question about a specific manufacturer, they're the perfect people to be the liaison, because they will get the facts from the manufacturer. Cut out the middleman. They will get what's needed. So great resource if you're wanting to know about what happens when electrical equipment gets wet or submerged or exposed to water, or there's some type of great resource, that type of thing. So check it out. All right. Let's see here. Sven, what's up? Sven, welcome. I am doing good. Good morning to you, my friend. Robert's in the house. Welcome, Robert. Glad to have you here. Melting Toast, you're not late, Rob. You're just right on time. You didn't miss anything. Paul's doing his long-winded introduction. As always, what you did miss is today's topic. We're going to be talking about CEEA and how you may be able to add that to your existing profile if you're an electrician or electrical contractor. I'm also going to compare it. I'm also going to compare it to something that I think is quite interesting. You've seen some electrical panels that are growing in popularity around the country because of their interaction, and that's called a SPAN panel. Have y'all heard that? SPAN, S-P-A-N. Now, I looked at this extensively, and actually, Justin looked at it, and I don't know why anybody would pay $8,000 to $10,000 for a panel that uses regular breakers, that doesn't have integrated AFCI or GFCI functionality, but all you can do is turn them on and off. So if you want that benefit, but it's the monitoring of energy, the monitoring of the energy and the notifications. Dude, CEEA professionals can do that at a fraction of the cost to their customer. You just can't remotely turn it on specifically, but there is no need to remotely turn anything on and off. They say, well, you can turn off your range. Why? Well, I left for work and I left it on. Dude, why? So anyway, I don't know how anybody would pay $8,000 to $10,000 to have an install for SPAN. Now, as a contractor, you're making money. The only problem is you're making money, but you have expensive outlays for equipment. And so anyway, I'll talk about that a little bit today as we talk a little bit about it. I mean, I'm not dissing SPAN. They're cool. It's no different than I wouldn't diss Leviton for their new looking breakers, and because I think it's cool. I got a chance to put my hands on a panel a couple weeks ago. Now, I'm not dissing anybody. I'm just saying I would not spend as a consumer $8,000 to $10,000 on a SPAN panel just so I can monitor my energy usage. There's a cheaper way to do it, and there's a more professional way to single it out. We'll talk about that today. That's what CEEA, as long as also has other elements of CEEA. that you're going to be doing and the network that we'll be creating with CEEA. Okay. So anyway, I'll talk about that a little bit today. What's up, Rob? Welcome. Glad to have you here. Good morning, Corbin. Great to have you here. And I'll also be talking about ways that you can increase your income and things like that by adding additional add-on services through CEEA as well for those that are interested. I also will tell you that one of the perks that we're adding to the CMECP program is that CMECP members automatically can get into the CEEA program without any fees or out anything. That's a perk that CEEA members that they're going to become eligible to be a CEEA member right away without having to do anything, that type of thing. So, all right. So anyway, well, I'll explain that later, maybe later. That's not right now. So don't you CMECPs go reaching out to me. Just rest assured that I've got you in mind to also be kind of boosted into the program because you are the professionals that are at the cream of the crop. So, that's what we want to, okay. Yeah, I see. Yeah, I did see that. Now I did see that, Leo. The things are like 100 freaking pounds. And at the end of the day, we'll talk a little bit about, I'm not dissing them. Technology. I love technology. All they are is a bunch of relays in the back of the panel that can turn breakers on and off or cut power to the bus at that specific. I get it, but it's not worth 8 to 10 grand. And so, if you can get it, great. But what is it giving you? Okay, enough of that. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Okay, talk about those type of things. What's up, Frank? Glad to have you here. Welcome. So the first things first, guys, let me go on and give you a look-see or a sneak peek. It's still in the works. I don't create this site for us. This is Justin who consults. We consult with in helping develop this program. He's still working on it. It is live, right? But at the end of the day, there are certain things that still do not function on it that I noticed that he's still working on, and that's okay because it was a soft launch, and I just want to talk more about it. Okay. Let's see here. Good morning, Frank. Good morning, Angel. Glad to have you here. I'm doing great. Got my coffee. Okay. Not going to raise my blood sugar because of the Ripple plant-based milk that I put in it, right? It's coffee, and then I use Splenda liquid version. Yeah, it's got preservatives in it, but yeah, it doesn't have that dextrose and melatonin or whatever in it. So I'm good there. Sweetens it up with one little squirt. Dude, I'm going to keep my blood sugar from going. I'm trying to be a good boy. All right, so let's go look real quick. Okay, so good morning. I am doing good, Angel. Glad to have you here. Okay, so this is CEEA, and some of you it may be hard to see, and I get that, but I just kind of maneuver around a little bit for you so you can kind of see. So this is CEEA. CEEA is the Certified Electrical Energy Auditor program that we're launching, and it's all based on electrical energy consumption and how to create a scenario where it is going to save consumers money, but they don't just sit there and look at numbers. So as a consultant, because any of this stuff, you guys, look, you can already do this stuff as an electrician, but many people do not do this stuff. And so we put together a training program, and in our scenario, it is allowing you to get products for specific applications without having to buy large quantities if you want them and things like that. So this is what it is. And it also is a turnkey training program that explains how to work with a customer, how to convince a customer that this is necessary for them, how they can get their return on investment quickly, and all that kind of stuff, and how you can actually integrate smart aspects into a home that may not already have that. Now, let me give a disclaimer real quick first. For all the haters that'll be hating on CEEA, we are not reinventing the wheel. As an electrician right now, you can offer energy monitoring systems for people's homes right now. You can do it right now. There's one brand that we recommend because we're going to be working closely with them. But at the end of the day, you can do this many different ways. The problem is people don't know how to sell it, and people don't know how to market it, and people don't know how to bundle things together so that in that sale, you're not just coming out of the sale with a normal service fee or just, so it's all about getting as much out of the sale without selling snake oil. Okay, so I'm not a big believer in snake oil. Okay, selling somebody something and you don't think it works. I'm strongly against that. Now, in today's energy code, with homes that are so tight that people are having to, every blower door tests go on everything now, and at the end of the day, it is all about energy, and we're going to start seeing more of that creep into the everyday life of the electrician, whether or not they have to seal around openings even more now for the envelope tightness, or whose responsibility is that. Again, I think Stephen 120 had an issue or something where he because the houses were so tight that it seemed to be incumbent on the electrician to make sure that there was enough makeup air or enough air circulation in the house. I think they should put a whole house EV, circulator on a house is the way I think it should be done. It's the way we do it on those SIPs homes. If you've ever seen a SIPs home, it's so tight that you need that air exchanger, and it conditions the air so that you don't lose that energy. Rather than, in his case, the inspectors and the energy code, they wanted their ceiling fans to stay running all the time. To me, that just pulls out conditioned air constantly, and it makes your system work harder. I don't know where that's efficient. So again, but anyway, the point is, it's not going away. So what we realized is that it's hard to sell consumers on stuff that they can't see a return on investment, right? Why should they invest $1,000 in anything if they're never going to get their $1,000 back? And so it's real important for CEEA members to be trained, for example, in how to show that return on investment first. Because the whole concept is we want you to be net zero at the end of the day. When somebody installs something like this, like an energy management system or energy monitoring system or integrated smart components or doing an analysis of the energy consumption in the home, when you look at something like that, you got to kind of think, I definitely want to reduce my electric bill. I don't like to piss away money every month. And you say, well, what's $30 a month? What's $40 a month? It's 30 or $40 a month. It's a meal with your family. Okay, well, not today. Probably costs a lot more than that. But I mean, $30, $40 a month savings, it adds up quickly and it pays for the install. But you also make your money as an installer up front for doing these things. And you can offer add-on services, monitoring services, and all those type of stuff, because a lot of this stuff can be monitored online, and you work with your client in an agreement and they can subscribe to that type of thing or whatever. Okay. So let's see here. Charlie says, do you have a podcast on sales and how to talk to owners? Actually, I do. I feel the weakest part of my new business. Yes. So Charlie, one of the aspects that we talk about, and it is, and if I can find it, I'll repost it online so you can see it. It is out there. It's called setting a first impression with the customer. But that's all part of our mentorship program that we have. But that's usually one of those things where, Charlie, if people that can call it, basically ask me any questions on how they interact with owners. But yeah, that is a weak part. And asking for the sale. One of the biggest things, and we'll talk about CEEA, and it can relate, and you'll get some of this business conversation out of it today in this episode, because I'm going to talk about how you would present this to a customer, and we're going to look at the aspects of it. CEEA is a way of wrapping something professional around something that you could do right now. In other words, you can offer EV chargers. You can to your clients. You can offer EV chargers that can interact with an energy monitoring system without paying for something like a span or trying to get an $8,000 to $10,000 service install. most consumers are going to balk at that. Now, if you're doing the big multi-million dollar houses, those people probably don't care that much about monitoring their energy uses because, I mean, if you can afford a $10 million house, they probably don't give a darn about their energy consumption. I'm just saying. But usually, people that are well off, they like making money. They don't like giving it away. So, and those bigger homes have bigger consumption, right? So, uh, Frank Paul, how can we vote for you? I don't know. I don't even know there was a program like that. I don't know. I would say, Frank, I'm not what I don't like to be. No, I appreciate that, but I don't like to be thought of as a social media influencer. If that's what that is, I can't really be honest with you. I don't. I'm not a big fan of social media influencers. I'm not a you know you know what I mean? I'm just not. Yeah, but I think you can. If I remember right, that's a write in. You can write somebody's name in, I think, or something like that. But you'll notice that I did see something about that, and it's produced by one guy who has a podcast, and then everybody that's in that are in his little circle, and I'm not in anybody's circle. You know what I'm saying? I am not, I'm not buddy buddy with Angry. I'm not buddy buddy with Steven. I'm not buddy buddy with that 360 dude. I'm not buddy buddies with anybody. So because they could put a video out, and if there's something wrong in it, I'll critique them too. I'll jump on them too. So I don't buddy buddy. So that's probably why wouldn't be in that. But I think you can write in something. But I am going to be at Nika though. So stop by. If you're there, stop by and see me. That's what means the most to me. I'd love to meet you. Love to meet everybody. But yeah, I'm not that big influencer thing. I think that that's all bullshit. You know what I mean? I think that somebody that's got a couple years in the trade, some of these guys ain't been a master but a year or two. A master electrician for but 1 year, maybe 2 years, but they go on social media and now they're the experts. And I've been a master for over 30 some plus year, almost 40 years in multiple states. Doesn't mean I'm the know-it-all, because I'll tell you if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But if I tell you something, I believe it. Otherwise, I wouldn't tell you. And I learn something new every day. But I don't consider myself an influencer because I don't really like that terminology. And they usually sell out anyway and sell products and stuff like that. So I don't want to get into that. Anyway, where was I? Good morning, Terrence. Glad to have you here. I imagine you're out in, yeah, you're out in Houston. What's up, Chad? Glad to have you here. So anyway, let's talk about it. So let's kind of look real quick here at CEEA. So here's CEEA. You see, this is our office and everything. And there's an email address that you can, if you have any questions, info@electricalenergyaudit.com. That's the website, electricalenergyaudit.com. And what you're going to notice is that we have energy monitoring systems, and we're partnering with one of the largest energy monitoring system companies out there. So we'll be offering their product, and we're creating support components around their product line specifically. All right. So that means that we'll offer the support for the product in specifically. But you know what? Most of these products are available to you right now that you can buy already, even on other like Amazon. What we're going to offer is the professional add-on to how you install it, how you interact with the customer, how you can sell it so that you get a turnkey solution. We're creating sales sheets that you can give to the customer, and all this type of stuff, so that it really takes the hard work. Okay, the hard work out of trying to make a sale, because again, we're not talking about selling snake oil. We're talking about selling things that if they have a PV system, this can benefit them because they get to see what they're offsetting or their net zero, or how is their solar system actually working to save them any money, or did they get sold this fake false dream? Those type of things. Also, the thing about energy monitoring systems, the right ones, and if installed, because there's a right way and a wrong way to install it. And usually when people install these, they don't do all the little things that make it right. And that's what we're going to be training you on, because you can install these energy monitoring systems. You can buy them every day. but most people don't know how to install them properly, how to label them and set them up for their customer, right? And how to actually show them what their return on investment will be, that type of thing. So that's what our program's going to do. Okay, it's going to take stuff that you could do right now, but we're going to put it all together in where half you struggle with: the marketing aspect, the sales aspect, how to make the sale, all that type of stuff. And then over time, we're also hoping to do lead generation and try to invest in being able to get leads for this, because at the end of the day, if your customer is thinking of buying a span panel, and I'm not dissing span, and if you're not familiar with what span is, I encourage you to go look it up on the internet. Go to span. I don't know what their web address is, but go look it up and look at the costs. Go look at it, sign up for it, and do their training. It is very detailed, and they have to be the ones to commission it. And you're thinking, well, yeah, well, it's great because I'm a span installer. I'm going to make a nice commission, because you got to still buy the product. The problem is the entry point and you got to do so many sales really to get any benefits. So you got to keep churn and burn. So most people today are not going to want to install a $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 electrical panel and turn around, and that doesn't even include the breakers. So in those panels, the breakers are your standard breakers from Eaton, from Schneider, from Siemens, okay, all the standard breaker, and not even the high line like a QO, that's more like a BR. So this adds up. And then of course you've got the labor. This can be $8,000 to $10,000. And really the only advantage that they give you over span, by the way, the only real advantage they give you over a monitoring system that's installed correctly, because there's a right way and a wrong way. We'll be covering all that in videos coming up soon for us, for this people that are interested in CEEA, is there's a right way and a wrong way to install it. There's a right way and a wrong way to promote it. There's a right way and a wrong way to ensure your customer is going to get a good return on investment. And span, all the benefit that it gives is it's a relay system, whereas you can actually from an app turn off any breaker you want in your house if you're somewhere in the world. I don't know why you would care about that. Oh, I left for work and I forgot to turn off the range. Okay, what have we been doing for the last? I mean, if you want to pay $8,000 to be able to turn off your range, or you get something to monitor that says, hey, your range is still running, then you could call somebody and say, hey, turn off the range. I guess there's advantage if you got the money. If you got the money, you can do anything you want. If you got the money, you can be a baller, right? If you got the money, you can be a baller. I can tell you right now, I wouldn't install one even if I was rich, because I am also a frugal guy. And I don't see the only thing it's given me technically is the ability to be able to turn off something remote. I don't really care to do that. I want to know what my energy consumption is. I want to know what my specific appliance. I want to know that if there's an appliance that is aging and it is running and it is pulling more than it needs to, and that's why a CEEA can offer monthly or bi-monthly or quarterly monitoring system, where they will look and do a diagnosis of their customers' consumption and say, you're okay. There's nothing here, okay? There's nothing here that is running out of whack. And that's some of the things that we'll train, because again, you can look at a client's home and look at it and see the consumption and what's running and what's not. And you can see, well, wait a minute. It sure does seem like your water heater is running excessively, and you might be able to recommend a timer on it to come on and off at peak times. Or you might be able to, and that's an additional sale for you. You might be able to look at it and say, your air conditioning unit, indoor unit, is pulling excessively, and things like that. Or it's recommendations on even how they may be able to change their thermostat and maybe recommend that they need, let's say, a programmable thermostat or something to kind of control their energy uses because they're concerned with their electric bill. So this is what monitoring does. And there's other things that it can do as well in that scenario. So we train all that. But here, what's important is people don't know how to interact with the customer. How do I tell a customer that they got a problem with this, they got a problem with that? Well, if you're a CEEA and you installed it and you monitor their system, or they call you and there's something, they say, hey, can you look at this? You have to remember that you're the expert. And it might be something as simple as, and there's one sales technique that Justin created that talks about evaluating the home's luminaire consumption. Means, are they still using incandescents? Right? So that's a sales lead, to be honest with you, with upgrading this house's luminaires. And there's good money in doing what we call a upgrade or a flip up. Okay. And I have tons of electricians that have worked with me through the years who work with real estate agents, and they actually do a lot of changing of the luminaires in a home for sale. But you could be doing it because of energy consumption and things like that. But I'm not going to get into all the details, but that's the kind of stuff that monitoring can do. Okay. And there's a way to approach the sales for that. How do you approach sales? And people just don't know. That's the problem. Also, EV chargers. We will be recommend a specific models of EV charger because they interact with the monitoring system, and you can sell that as a package if that's what you have. Those type of scenarios. Let's see. Let's see here. What else? We also train people on what's called the Gen Ready approach. That is something that you may already do today, but you get to approach the customer with being Gen Ready and not necessarily have to be a whole house generator backup. Now, some of you may already be doing this. And some of you might say, well, I don't know how to approach a customer because they either get a whole house generator. And I know some of you already do these, generator inlets, but there's a right way and a wrong way to market it. There's a right way and a wrong way to promote it to a customer. They don't have to have their entire house, okay, be done. But as a CEEA backing you with training in how you approach, then you can actually set up this, what I call the poor man's approach, okay, or reasonable man's approach to an interlock system. But it's how you actually label the panel, how you actually identify the loads it can be on. All that stuff is what you're getting paid for. And you may already do this. So again, I want to make this really clear. Whether you join CEEA or not, or whether or not you want that additional training, sales, and somebody to interact with, us to interact with, that's fine. But you should be, in your business, if you're an electrical contractor, you should be thinking of ways to augment your sales. Right? You should be thinking, okay, am I offering EV chargers? Well, yeah, but are you offering a specific brand? Well, you should offer a specific brand. And while you're doing that, you should be able to offer monitoring so they work together so that they get to see and make sure that they're charging their car, for example, during an off-peak time, and how you would set that up and those type of things. And that's the stuff that you're going to get trained on. So that's just kind of the stuff. But again, so I want to make it real clear. And again, for the haters out there, we are not saying that you can't already do monitoring and sell that service. Same as you can offer surge protected devices to that service. You can offer EV charging for that service. You can offer the training for how to do the Gen Ready generator. Hey, there's important things that you need to realize that maybe you didn't realize. Not every generator can be used as a backup. Now, it'll power things, but it depends on how long you plan on doing it, because you have total harmonic distortion in some generators that can cause problem with electronics, right? So picking the right generator is important. Now, if you're just trying to go an hour, 2 or 3 hours, even those with total harmonic distortion that it's over, say, 3% or more, is not going to be that big a deal. It's not going to have a long-term effect on electronics unless they're older electronics. So if you're doing work and a person has an older home, not everybody has a new home wants to get Gen Ready. So they have an older home, and maybe they lose power lots somewhere. You need to be careful on what type of generator you recommend. You need to make sure that you do everything. And so that's what we talk about in that type of program. And really, it's how to be better salesmen. Okay, that type of thing. It's not ready yet. folks, you can go look at it. It's not ready for anybody to sign up with it yet, just so you know. But I would more than happy to put the website up there. Hold on, I'll get it for you. I'm more than happy to put that in here, but it is not ready yet. Okay, to be able to do it. We're still working on it. You'll know. I let y'all. Here's the thing. I was coming here to let you guys know first. I always try to let you folks know first here on Coffee Hour what we're doing, that type of thing. Okay, so just so you know, that's where we're going with it, that type of thing. Okay. All right. Anyway, and I don't know how to do a link. I don't know if I don't know if what I post is clickable or not. Anyway. All right. So let's go back real quick and look at it. So also smart home technology. So integrated in this system, you can have, for example, we're going to be doing a program that many people struggle with the smart home aspect of it. And so we wanted to create a way that Leviton does some great stuff too. Absolutely, they do. If you're a Leviton dealer and you install Leviton stuff, that's great stuff too. We won't be supporting Leviton in our scenario. We want to be, oh, well, cool. It worked. Okay, cool. So we want to remember that we really don't care what electrical panel you install. We are just using span as an example. That's way too much money for what you're getting. And I'm not dissing them. Span, don't come sue me. It's great for what you want to do, right? But for me, the only benefit you really get is to be able to turn something on and off remotely because of the relays in there. All I want to do is be able to monitor my energy. Now, why would I want to do that? Also, if you have PV systems, okay, these monitoring that we are going to promote, going to have our branding on it, that type of thing. We also promote remote receptacles that can go into a normal receptacle, so you don't have to replace the receptacle, although you can. We'll also have a program that explains how to properly set up the Alexa devices, all this type of stuff, how to sell that type of stuff, because many people don't want to add those services, those smart services, not because they can't do it, because they don't know how to sell it. You don't know how to promote it to the customer in a way. You don't have the pre-ready made documents that make selling easy. We're doing all that for you. Okay. So anyway, that's what we're doing with that. And then also the fact that maybe you don't do PV work, and we're not into PV, but we sell the monitoring and specifically how it can monitor their PV system, photovoltaic system, to tell whether or not they're actually getting their money's worth out of it, whether or not they're actually using less than they're producing, that type of scenario. So that's the kind of some of the neat stuff that's involved with it, right? Okay. Anyway, that's kind of the synopsis. We're still working on the website. It's still being worked on. Justin is still working on it in the background. But again, what it's going to be is a collection of services. Let me put it that way. With a product that we recommend only what we recommend, right? And we're going to do training and support and different types of turnkey videos that you can share with the customer that's going to sell them on it, that are not selling us, right? It's going to be what you would share with your customer, explaining the return on investment, to explain why it needs to be installed, right? Those type of things. Okay. That's the kind of stuff we're going to be creating for this program, and it's still in the works, but we're very close. So I just wanted you folks to keep an eye on it because it's very much in the works. Now, if you are interested in getting more information on the program when it does release, then you can obviously send an email to us. It's on the website. You can send it at info at electricalenergyaudit.com. And Justin, me, we'll keep you there, and we'll let you know when it's ready to go and launch, and all the details of it, that type of thing. It's all there, that type of thing. And the hope is that we'll be able to integrate it, right? So that as it grows, you'll have the ability to right here find a CEEA member, and they would click on it, and they'll be able to find a CEEA member in their area, that type of thing, right? So we don't have it activated right now because we don't have it set up for anybody, okay? And you got all this other stuff that pops out. Anyway, kind of cool website. There's a lot of stuff in here, but right now it's pretty much just the basic stuff on here. And you'll have your own account where you can log in and yada, yada, yada. So you'll have all your own login. And that's where we'll have all of the training material, videos, marketing material, all that'll be right there for you. And we will show you how you can sell it, how you can promote it. So let me make it clear before I give you some advantages of this type of program. Let me make a couple things clear first, because I always have these people that need to make it clear. Again, for the haters out there, we are not offering anything tangible product-wise that you could not get yourself. I am not a manufacturer of energy monitoring systems. I don't want to be. I am not a manufacturer of EV systems or charging systems. I don't want to be. I am not a manufacturer of smart switches, smart devices. I don't make interlock kits. I'm not selling you something that I make, and I'm selling to you as a product. What we've done here is we're partnering in order to offer a support program with the enhanced professional mark, the training, the support. You're in the field and you're having an issue with an install, you're struggling with a customer, you need to understand tips on how to sell something better, that type of thing. You want to, all those type of things. How do I approach a certain market? How do I approach a certain neighborhood? How do I target my marketing? How do I spend less but get more? That's what we're going to be doing. And I've been talking about this on my podcast for years about adding ancillary services to your business and why you need to do it, because you don't want to have all your eggs in one basket. All we're doing with CEEA is putting everything together in an easy approach for you to be able to stop having to think, stop having to go search for this, in that, in this, in that, in this. And then how do I sell this? How do I sell that? How do I sell this? We're putting together the approach for you to say, okay, how do I sell this energy monitoring system to this customer who really needs it? And I can tell them that within a certain period of time, they can save money by simply monitoring their energy usage, right? It's also the old adage, folks, and again, I'll tell you this, and a diabetic will start getting better when they have a continuous glucose monitor. Why is that? Because now I'm conscious about what I eat, what I use, and I look at it. Same thing applies to energy management. When people don't realize that this is running all the time or that's running all the time. And you know what? If you go on social media or your local Facebooks or whatever, you see people moaning and groaning about their energy usage. Why is their electric bill so high? Many of them don't realize in some areas of the country, you have on peak or an off peak rates. And maybe they want to see this, right? And maybe sometimes they'll go, wait a minute, maybe I want to do this during these hours. And you can create a schedule for them. You can create reminders for them. You can interact with your customers. So this is a program where you're going to not just sell it and be done with it. You can do the install, you can sell them, but you'll also be able to sell an upgrade, which is a monitoring, a evaluation on a quarterly basis, annual basis, monthly basis. You as the electrician, you as the expert can tell if a piece of equipment is pulling too much current for too long, and it's probably on its way down, right? Might be ready to be replaced, all that type of stuff. So at the end of the day, why is it important to monitor people's electrical systems today? Why do you think SPAN came out? Why do you think Levitt and the smart panels, smart things are coming to be? Because people want to be very conscious of of how they're using their energy, because they're paying for it. You can't see it. You're paying for it. My electric bill goes up $50 one month. You're like, what the hell happened? What am I using? Because you don't know what you're using. What am I using that raised my bill $50 a month? Multiply that every month over a year. You may be a baller and you don't care, but your customer will. And so maybe it's just retraining how they actually, maybe they need to have some luminaires changed to some LED. Maybe they need to think about they have something that's old, it's outdated. They may need to replace because of what it's drawing. It's a motor that's getting ready to go bad or something, and you know what the nameplate says. You know what the amps are supposed to be for that motor, but here's what it's pulling. Maybe it's time for them to be recommended. You might need to have a service technician come look at something. And if they come and they fix it, guess what? You save them, right? So again, maybe they are tired of losing power, but they can't afford an entire Generac generator system or Kohler system. Well, maybe you can offer a system that can be turnkey for about $3,500, including the generator, and train them on how to sequence their generator on and off, how to turn what breakers on and off in the panel. I get so many people that do installations for generators, even the inlet, that don't take the time to actually train the actual customer or label the breakers or put little dots. We train you to put little red dots and green dots beside the breaker. And that way you know which ones can stay on and which ones can come off. Those type of things. So there's training that we're going to provide that means that you could do it, but half the battle is people don't want to go through all this. They don't want to say, oh, okay, I want to offer this, but I don't know how to promote it. I want to offer this, but I don't know how to promote it. I want to offer this, but I don't know how to promote it. I don't know how to sell it. I don't know how to convince somebody. Why do you need a surge protective device? Okay. How do you convince a customer to put out a couple $100 for a surge protective device, installation included? Well, there's a right way and a wrong way to sell it. And the way to sell it is to make sure that they know that they're going to get a return on their investment. How are they going to get that? And that type of thing. So we try to approach it that way. Okay. So they get to see how their energy is being used, how much is being used, when the peak times they're using it, so they can control that, right? They get to lower their energy bill by identifying which items are energy hogs. Maybe have certain things that are running during the peak time of the day. For example, and I tell this to people all the time, you'd be surprised, running a water heater, a regular water heater nonstop, or not having it on a timer, and not understanding when you probably take showers or when you use the hot water the most or how much actual hot water you can get. One of the biggest savings you can get is limiting the use of the water heater, putting it on a timers. Now, you can already do that. But they may not go for that. But if I have an energy management system energy monitoring system then I show them over the timer, they see this consumption during the day, these peaks that it's going on and heating up the water unnecessarily, then you can make a recommendation that maybe you need to have a timer put on this, or so that we can control it during certain times. And that's another potential sale for you. I'm all about the sale, but these aren't snake oil. It is real energy that is wasted. There's other different things that you can check that, but they get to see that over time. So there you go. So they may need to upgrade things like LED lighting. You may make recommendations to things like a smart thermostat. Maybe the appliances they're using are old and outdated and that using a lot of energy that they may think about upgrading, that type of thing. And it may be stuff that you do in your company and you get to make a sale, but these are real things. Okay. But what else? Well, also monitoring systems can identify spikes in energy use, can also signal a failing appliance, a refrigerator and HVAC systems that's running excessively long. And so you see, because typically these come on and cycle on and off, on and off, on and off. What's a neat thing to see is if you've ever put a soft start, for example, like micro air soft start on an HVAC unit, and actually it's Bluetooth, and I have one, and I actually can see how many times this thing starts up per hour. Now, mine right now is doing about 2 times an hour, okay, in order to keep us at our temperature. And I have mine set on 73, I think. So, but it's interesting because any type of air conditioning unit that runs excessively, and you can see that in monitoring, you're not necessarily going to know that if you're out there looking at it, then you know that it's either maybe old, capacitors may be going, I don't know. I'm not an HVAC guy, but what I can tell you, if it's pulling current excessively when it doesn't need to run excessively, or it's spiking up and staying up instead of coming back down to the running current, that there's probably something wrong with that appliance. And the owners can preempt a possible problem by doing that. Another example is they could have a water pump or an aging motor that maybe have a shutoff switch, a sump pump that is constantly running, and they don't know it. And so it's running month after month after month after month. And in your case, you can see it or they can see it and you can alert them to that, right? Okay. So again, okay. No, I won't. That's not my show in Nika, Alex. That's not my show. I'm there for Encore Wire and Prismium. I'm there for wire and cable. I don't do shows. And at some point, we probably will do show circuits for CEEA and CMECP and that type of thing in our training. But right now, while I'm employed also at a major wire and cable manufacturer, I promote them. So I don't go around promoting. That's why I do this show early, because they're an hour behind me. So I do this on my time. Okay. So, and then I do double duty. Okay. But no, that's a show for them. Okay. So I won't be talking about that, but I'll answer any questions you may have if you're there. I don't have a problem with answering questions. Okay. Also, monitoring your system also can identify things that may be on the verge of breaking down. Okay. That type of thing. You can tell when something on an air conditioning unit is locked up and it's continually running, and they can monitor it because they can see that usage and it stays up there, and each individual thing is monitored. So a span panel costs you $8,000 plus the extra for the breakers, right? It's doing the same thing. The only difference is you can turn things on and off. Well, what do you need to turn it on and off? Because be honest with you, if you have a smart home and it's cheaper to put in Alexa switches, electro receptacles, smart devices, you can turn off almost anything you want anyway. I would have zero need to turn off my air conditioning unit. I don't want to do that remotely. Okay. I don't want to stop it mid-cycle anyway. No need to turn off any of that stuff remotely. I don't have a need for that. So at the end of the day, I think it's a waste of money, in my opinion. Okay. Fix my pen. Oh, respect. Got to have respect. Thank you, David. Appreciate you, brother. Keeping up. David's keeping me sharp. Keep that pen. Pride in that pen. You earned it. Keep it straight. You absolutely right. Anytime y'all see me that happen, you let me know. Keep that sucker straight. All right. So if you have a customer that has PV or have an EV, EVs need to be used during off-peak time, right? And maybe you're in an area, and then some people in our system actually can get credits for using this monitoring system, this specific one in that zip code, right? So there is other benefits. Plus, your customer may have a PV and they go, well, I just pay for PV. And you're like, really? They're thinking, well, it's aged and I'm going to put some money into it. You're like, okay, are you really getting your money out of this PV system? Well, the energy management and monitoring system, I keep saying monitoring system, because the difference between energy management and energy monitoring is energy management means that you can actually do something to control it. And you can, and that's why I keep saying energy management, because if you use the EV charger that is designed to work with our monitoring system, then it is energy management. It does have an energy management component. So that's why I keep saying it, because it does have those elements. Also, we're going to be training you on these remote receptacles, not the generic ones from Alexa. These are specific that work with the management system that allow it to actually control it. So you could have specific appliances that are plugged into those and actually manage things like turn loads on and off, TVs on and off, things like that. So that is a management system that's inherent to that. I just don't believe that people need to be spending $8,000 to $10,000 on a span panel, but that's you. Do whatever you want. If you're a span installer and you're making good jack on it, God bless you. I'm just saying. All right. So that's the kind of things that we try to train. And you basically give people peace of mind, because the system's being monitored and they can see it, but you also can have a monitoring plan where you monitor it for them. You keep an eye on it once a week, once a month, however you want to develop your monitoring program for your customer. That's up to you. Okay. That type of thing. Now, we also have 3-phase monitoring systems. So single phase, or referred to as split phase for most people, So it's really just splitting one phase. And that's how we get 12240 or three phase. So we'll offer those systems as well. And it's, you can have modules and then you can have additional modules and additional. So you can actually build out a large program. And at the end of the day, it is basically made up a collection of CTs that are basically going to be able to do the monitoring down to very accurate detail, that type of thing. So yeah, be available for both commercial and residential application. I think most money for me is probably going to be in residential, but I'm thinking that there's a lot of commercial buildings, a lot of commercial businesses that have motors and other loads, and they would like to know what's running, how long something's running, whether a motor potentially is running too long or a pump's running too long or something. So in the long run, yeah, it probably pay for itself by monitoring their systems as well. So they are available as well. Let's see here. And really, that's it. I didn't want to go too much detail into that type of thing. I just wanted to kind of introduce you to it. We are going to, so at the end of the day, we are going to support one product. Okay, when it comes to manufacturer, one product. And the reason for that is I have researched them all over the past year. I have looked at which ones I have looked at. There's one that Schneider makes. There's one other companies make. They do not do, and there's some cheaper ones that you can find on Amazon. They're just not listed. They're not UL listed. They're not, I don't believe in them. And then when I saw people installing them, I realized that they were not doing this stuff professionally. You're a professional. Conductor routing, cable routing, location, connection to their Wi-Fi system if they have one. If they don't have a Wi-Fi system, you can install one for them. We'll have a program on that as well, how to create a smart home for people. I used to do quite a bit, okay? So their EMS system, no, I don't believe we're going to be integrating with anybody's system, sets of management, because this is a monitoring system. So no, if a building already has an EMS system, then they should already have a monitoring system. Okay, so they should already have that if they have that system in there, because I wouldn't pay that kind of money for an EMS system that didn't monitor their usage. So not really our area. So I would think that the commercial stuff that you'd be going for would be the smaller mom and pops, that people are the more concerned about their consumption and usage, not that big corporate, big commercial. If they already have EMS systems, emergency energy management systems, then I would not, I don't think that's what I would target personally, because they've already got the money invested in that type of thing. Okay. So, okay. Anyway, again, but we'll have videos, we'll have some training, we'll have some documenting, we'll have some Q&A, but that just gives you a taste of what it is, what we're trying to do under one product, one brand, focus the training around it. We are not going to train you on how to put in an EV charger. Okay, because again, it's not brain surgery. We'll talk about it, but you're not going to get videos of us doing that. We're not going to run it from a breaker to an EV charger. Okay, so that type of thing. Okay, so rooftop units. Basically, on this, it's just monitoring. So you would put a CT on the circuit at the breaker that supplies power to that RTU monitor, to that RTU unit. And it's not going to integrate with their program. It's just going to be, it would integrate on our monitoring system. So no, not creating some interaction with some other type of thing. It's going to be a separate, totally separate, that type of thing. Okay. So yeah, we don't want to create add-on products. We're trying to, here's the thing. We don't want to make products. I don't want to make a product. Okay. I don't want anything to do with making a product when it comes to CEEA. CEEA is creating really a marketing, sales, educational, and add-on sales for electrical contractors. That's what I've always been about. How you can add more value to what you already do and set yourself above the rest. That was the main concept of CMECP for electricians and electrical educators to promote themselves as the upper echelon. So CEEA is simply an add-on association certification for you as an energy auditor based on electrical energy. Okay, you're electricians, electrical energy. We don't want anything to do with HVAC. I don't want anything to do with energy, energy conservation code. We don't want nothing to do with that. At the end of the day, this program is not for somebody that's not an electrician that comes out. See, that's why I can tell you we're not in it for the money. This is not a program where Johnny Blow can say, hey, I want to be a CEEA. Don't want it. Don't want it. We want electrical professionals because this is a way to add on to your existing business. Now, if you're an electrician who wants to go into business for themselves and you're like a mom and pop, you're small, this is perfect for you because you get to add it as a service that you can now target neighborhoods and get your foot in the door. So you can do service work and you can add this as an add-on. You guys see what I'm doing? You see what we do? We're trying to bring value to the electrician that's already there. We're not trying to create anything to just bring in people that are not electricians. I don't want the plumber. I don't want the HVAC guy. I don't want the carpenter. I don't want the Johnny homeowner. I don't want the home inspector. I don't want any of them. All this program is designed to do, and we don't care whether we get 1 million members or 1 member. The program is here. And what it's going to do is going to give you the ability to sell upgrades, add-on services, ancillary things to customers, and it not be snake oil. It's got my belief. Here's my fundamental core goal here in my I guess let's say mission is you must bring value to the consumer. I can only sell something to somebody if I believe in it. Okay. That's all. I cannot push them on things that I don't believe will bring value. Energy management is not going to make their bill go to nothing. Energy monitoring is not going to make their bill go to nothing, but it is going to make the consumer more aware of the consumption. If it's just if it's just you and me, or me and my wife in a house, dude, I don't need it because I know what loads are in my house, except for I do have a sump pump. I do have HVAC. So again, monitoring it, and I'm geeky. I kind of geek out on that stuff. I like to see my usage. What's using more? What am I doing? Okay. I'll give you an example. I swear my wife, it's just 2 of us. She literally washes clothes. I swear she does this 10 times a day. I want to show her what the consumption is over a period of time running that dryer when it's just me and her. Now, I can't convince her now because she just does it every day. Of course, y'all know what we struggle with. But it's interesting how I could show and say, see this consumption? Over the month, this is what it costs to run that dryer, and you're running it. But then I might be that my area actually has an off-peak rate after a certain time. Do it during this period. It's going to save us money. However you do it, I'm just saying there's ways to do that. And you might say, I don't give a crap about any of that. I'm just a baller, whatever. That's fine too. But I'm an electrical contractor. If I went into somebody's home, and I believe this, and people say, well, I hate the guy that comes in and tries to sell me everything. They hate that. I get it. There is a tactful way to do it that doesn't seem pushy. And that's what people struggle with. I think Charlie's saying that's what people struggle with. How to sell something tactfully, set the seed, and even though you leave and you don't get the sale, you still got to do the fundamental thing that all salesmen have to do. And whether you think you're a salesman or not, you are a salesman. The fundamental thing that people don't do is they don't ask for the sale. Number 1 tip I can give you about selling is that we can talk a lot about our products. We can talk about what they can do for you. We can talk about how neat it is to monitor it, and you can see when you may have an issue with a piece of equipment. You can call a professional, kind of head it off in the past. But at the end of the day, most people don't ask for the sale. And I'm going to tell you, in our program, to be able to monitor systems and explain this to the customer, and even offer a monitoring package where you monitor their appliances, and you set up their system, and you set up their app, and they know exactly what loads are going to what things. One of the things that I can tell you is that every time you go to a home, and you think, well, do I upsell them for a surge protected device? Do I try to convince them for AFCIs? Or I try to talk them into GFCIs where they don't have them? Do I try to talk to them about a generator inlet? How often do they lose power? Do I try to talk to them about there's a tactful way to do it, and you will learn when to talk about certain things and when not to talk about certain things. And it's a state of mind and it's training. And that's what you can't get when you just go buy a product and install it. You don't get the back end support. Basically, in a nutshell, CEEA was with the when I decided to create it, I wanted to create a service-based product that allows the electrician to offer ancillary specific products that tune into the energy consumption issue that we're having, aging appliances, aging systems, conscious about power and how much energy costs and peak times, off peak, all this kind of stuff. But it had to be something that's going to be a return on investment. I have to show the customer that over time they will be net zero. And I don't mean net zero in what they pay. I mean net zero in what they invested in the system that I'm selling them. That is a mission of mine. And that's what CEEA is going to be all about. It's not going to be about all this other. That is all it's about. Okay. All right. And the one thing about CEEA is it's not going to be something that is overly costly to get this training and all this kind of stuff, but you will have to sign agreements. Okay, let me make it up front. You will have to sign an NDAs. In other words, you cannot use our program or any of these products if you're no longer part of the program. So you can't come to us and learn to do it, learn all our sales techniques, learn all the stuff and train you. And then you say, well, I don't need you. I can buy this stuff and do it. Because we will sue you, okay? I have no bones about that. I got plenty of money. Our company has plenty of money in the funds. We will sue you, okay? So at the end of the day, it's all about you support us, we support you, and that type of thing. So anyway, all of that stuff will be exposed. We're not here to train you to do something and you go out and do your own thing. We want you to be a part of our program. If that's not for you, don't do it. Okay. I tell people all the time, the haters out there say, oh, Paul's at another thing. If it's not for you guys, hey, you out there, the hater, don't do it. Skip it. Do something else. The problem is you're hating it because you ain't it. That's why you hate it. I'm just saying. But we're going to make it easy for you to get into this space. We're going to make it easy for you to upgrade a sale, get more money out of every service call. And we're going to train you on all those type of things. In fact, one of the things that we're going to do with CEEA, and Charlie, I told you I would talk about it. One of the things we're going to do to CEEA is we're going to have a specific program that is tailored towards mentorship. We're going to have it very much talk about running your business. We're going to talk about dealing with employees. We're going to talk about marketing, talking about sales techniques. All of that stuff is going to be part of CEEA's package. That's what you're going to get. And then you're going to get ongoing support. Okay. That's what we're creating. So no, folks, before I leave or before we do a drawings, I am not selling you a product that I make. I'm selling you a product that we're partnering with in order to offer back-end services. So we're creating the professional network to support a product, okay? That's what we're doing. And we're going to give you all the support, the marketing material, the brochures, or even the templates, because we'll let you print your own. Hell, you can get in touch with, gosh, I forget your name. I'm sorry. I feel terrible now. Paul, you can get in touch with Paul for marketing stuff. Look, we're not into that business. We'll create the products in order to be able to give the door hangers. We'll create this stuff for you to be able to market yourself. We'll talk to you on how you can sell it, how you can promote it, how you train your staff, how to get over disagreements. We're also going to talk to you about how to overcome rejection, because I think that's the biggest thing that people who get into sales is they say, look, I'm an electrician. I'm not a salesman. I don't like to sell shit. I don't want nobody coming and knocking on my door. I don't like solicitors. You're already in there if you're coming out there for service work, or you're already in there if they call you, okay? So at the end of the day, all you're doing is offering them value. And it's my mission to make sure that I am not going to promote anything. Trust me, folks, call me out on it. I'm not going to promote anything in CEEA that is not going to have the goal of being net zero when it comes to out-of-pocket costs for the customer. That's the goal, so that they pay back their investment and they start reaping the benefits. That's the goal. So again, it's not my noble thing. It's not like, oh, I want to die and I want to save the world, or I'm doing this because I'm worried about the energy world, or I'm the green guy. No, let's get it straight. I'm about helping electricians grow their business, make more money, offer tangible products that can actually save their customer money and make you money at the same time. And some of this stuff you could already be doing, and you're probably not doing it. Why are you not doing it? You know why you're not really done? Yeah, you may install a generator inlet here or there. You may do a monitoring system here or there. You may have done smart home here or there, but you're not doing it to the level that you could be doing it. And it is so much money out there to be made. I want you to get that money. And you're still offering your customers something that they need. They just don't know they need it yet, but they will. And that's what CEEA is going to be all about. All right. All right, folks, let's go on and spin the wheel and get some giveaways here set. For those, I have sent out some additional giveaways. They went out yesterday. Remember, folks, I don't know if I told you or not, Wednesdays is our engraving day here. And so that's where I have help engraving. So if you get any products online and you wonder why it doesn't go out the next day, right? Link here in the chat. Is that for the CEEA product? Yeah, that's just the introduction to CEEA. It's CEEA, CEEA. It is not ready to sign up to yet, but I wanted you guys to be the first to be able to go look at the site. It's going to change. Some things are going to expand. You're going to see a lot of stuff there. But I wanted to give you a taste before it becomes live. And you'll know it when it comes live because there will be big hoo-baha. There'll be some videos. There'll be training stuff. There'll be a lot of stuff that comes out. But I wanted you to see it first. And it's been a year since the inception of it. This was over a year ago that I just talked about it. And then Justin came on and he's developing it out. So there's still a lot of work to be done, but I wanted you to see. I promise you that by the first of the year, it will be up and running. But right now, we're still in the phase where we've got stuff that we're turning out. So I just wanted to give you a taste. Bookmark the page, check back often, that type of thing. I explain marketing, and I am probably, and I'm not going to toot my own horn, but I'm probably, when it comes to electrical and contracting business, I'm probably one of the best marketing guys out there, because if I do this for a customer and I sell a monitoring for this so I'll monitor it for them. We have it set that every week an alarm comes on in my computer. It tells me to go check out so-and-so, go check out their system, log in and see their usage. Also, they sign up for a newsletter. And in that newsletter, you'll give them a follow-up letter is what we really call it. You'll give them a snapshot of their consumption and you'll make recommendations. But guess what? You also have the opportunity to upsell them on things like, if you didn't sell them on a surge protector, let them know the stats of lightning strikes and all that. It's a marketing tool, guys. You know what? We're already over an hour and I can't get into it, but here's the problem with most people's success. They're happy where they are. They don't want to grow. They don't want to get more. And they say, I'm a mom and pop. If you market yourself right, you already have customers that you're doing every day, right? Every day. You're not leveraging everything you can get out of that customer, that return on that investment. You're not getting it. And once you do that service call or once you do that install, are you ever really following up with your customer? Let me ask you this. How many of you electricians out there who've done projects, gone to houses, even wired a home for somebody, do you follow up with the person that got the home? Okay. Do you follow up with it? Even though you did the electrical, do you do your due diligence to get the information on who the owner is so that you can send them something after it's all done, after you finished wiring the home or after you've done it? How many of you follow up? I guarantee you none of you do. I used to. So every home that I wired, I would actually have the information from the homeowner so that 6 months after they're in the home, they got an email from me. So I asked them, I said, okay, I always had that on my stuff, the contracts. What is your email address? All this kind of stuff. And I have a little asterisk, and at the bottom says you will from time to time get email, newsletters, whatever. It is not considered spam, yada, yada. Hey, by the way, folks, even in the CEEA program, we're going to provide you all disclaimers. So you don't even have to think about disclaimers for any certain application. We are creating that for you. Trust me, every good contractor does an install and does a follow-up program. That follow-up program allows you to sell and upgrade ancillary products. You never know if they got an unfinished basement and you're doing a project. If you're not following up with these people, you're crazy. Crazy. Okay? Because that's money that's sitting on the table. And all you got to do is fire an email, a properly worded email. Guess what? We're even going to give you the templates for the emails. It's trying to make easier for you to expand your business without you having to work so hard. Why? Because you're good at what you do. We want to make you better. That's all CEEA is trying to do by offering specific products, okay? Specific products that we know the best. And we can teach you how to sell it, how to market it, how to show that it's not snake oil, right? And I want to tell you, I've done this for decades. Y'all remember this product that came out on the market called KVAR, right? Which is basically a bunch of capacitors, whatever, and people were selling it and people were trying to get dealerships. I flew all the way out to Beaumont, Texas with an electrical contractor. His name is Jason Haney. He's right up in Richmond, Virginia. He was getting ready to buy this dealership and they were signing up dealers all over the country. And I looked at it and I said, this is bullshit. Most of the equipment in a residence is Energy Star anyway. Most of the appliances have capacitors already on them. There is no savings here. But they were convincing people. And I went and showed him how it's snake oil. So guess what? Some of you go Google KVAR, K-V-A-R, okay? Anyway, I flew all the way out to Beaumont undercover with him as a potential dealer. And then right in the middle, y'all can picture this. And I'm not lying. I swear anything I tell you guys is legit. In the middle of his presentation, I raised my hand and stood up. And I called him what it was. I called a spade a spade. I said, you're full of crap. All this you're selling is full of crap. And I walked up there and I proceeded to put a load on his demonstration. And it shows you that it didn't work. The meter started going and everything. He was so embarrassed. He asked me to leave. The electrician who was promoting it for him, the electrician, because he was an electrician, got so embarrassed that he came over to me afterwards and says, look, I just sell them. I know they don't work. Boom, that program ended, okay? Because, again, I don't believe in selling bullshit. I sell courses that help you learn the code, okay? That's it. I sell programs that help you learn. I sell Trade Hog, which helps you in the field. I sell Fast Tracks Tube, which helps you learn. CEEA is going to be a product that's going to help electricians and electrical contractors make more money. And also, if you're an electrician for another company, you're already an electrician, CEEA is going to be an amazing side hustle for you electricians to do on the side, to become that expert in electrical energy auditing. Make some money only for electricians. I don't want plumbers. I don't want mechanical guys. I don't want home inspectors. I don't want builders. I don't want none of that. We only want electrical people because you're my people, okay? All right, folks, that was just a little introduction today about CEEA. If you're interested, that's great. If you're not, that's great also. I'm just letting you know what's coming. I would think the training alone on how to overcome the rejection, how to sell a product, how to interact with your customer, how to let them know they want something, they just don't know it yet. How to show them the return on investment, how to properly install these products. Again, install is in the eye of the beholder, but there's a certain way to install them. And so all that stuff, if it's not interest to you, it's not interest to you. And that's okay. That's okay. I'm not trying to sell everybody. I'm just introducing the program. And it's called CEEA, electricalenergyaudit.com. All right. All right, folks, until next time, stay safe. God bless. We will catch you tomorrow, which will be Friday, and we'll have another interesting topic on the National Electrical Code. And until then, stay safe. God bless, and we'll catch you on the next episode.